Hello, beautiful souls. I hope you're well. Today, I have with me Dots from Ireland. Dots, who already came on our channel for a beautiful interview. But today, Dots is going to share a little bit more about who he is and what he does, what are his interests, but mostly about to talk to us about how we would like things to be manifesting on Terra, manifesting a positive reality on Terra. And so we're going to hear about your hopes and dream, Dots. Thank you for being on the channel and welcome.
Hi, Abigaëlle. Thanks a million. Thanks again for having me. My message, well, the hopes and dream for Terra, it's completely up to us. It's very open. Um, I'm very optimistic, but I just sort of want to round up on what's been going on outside of Earth, just to let people know, because when we start to go out there, we're in big demand. Everyone wants to talk to us.
Yeah.
A whole quadrant of the galaxy is out to be freed.
Mm-hmm.
The lines of the six are down. There's a lot going on. So there's a bit of a celebration going on, and we're very famous, this little corner of the galaxy.
Yeah.
Very, very famous.
If you permit, I'm sorry, Dots, if you can just speak a little bit louder so we can hear you a little bit louder. Thank you. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So we're going to have a lot of attention around here soon, and everyone wants to hear about the biggest galactic and justified jailbreak ever.
Yeah.
So we're going to be in demand. So tell the story. It's very important to tell the story. Bring your own talents, but tell the story, because that alone is going to change everything. It'll change the attitude of everybody.
Yeah.
If we can get through it in such hard circumstances. So that's really important. And of course, bring all your own talents. Music is very important. Alex Collier told a fabulous story of introducing a particular, it doesn't really matter what style of music it was, but it was a particular piano piece where a note came down to a crescendo. Yeah. And that was being played on the Andromedan ship to a visiting star nation. They heard that particular note and burst out with joy. The ship reacted to it because the ship is sort of sentient, and all the Andromedans and everyone else that was on the ship that could reacted to it. They felt the joy. And not alone was it them, that star nation on the ship, all of them everywhere felt that just from one note from Earth. And that's only music.
Yeah.
We have a lot to bring. And that's very important as well. Yeah. So I think it's a really, really bright future. As bright as we want to make it. And there's a lot of help out there. A lot of people want to meet us, want to hear the story. So it's really open to what you want to bring.
Yeah.
What talent you have. Not even individually. Be proud of the planet. We're a really super, super race.
Yeah.
And as I said, biggest jailbreak in galactic history. Everyone else knows about it except us. So we should be celebrating. We really should be celebrating. We just don't know it yet.
There's a lot of division going on right now, while celebrating should be and trying to be in this high frequency, knowing the value of our consciousness is really important, and all the talents we have, as you say. Yeah. It's so important.
And even, I know there's a lot going on around us that's not just a distraction. It definitely warrants attention. And there's some horrible things coming to light. But once they're exposed, they stop because the people say, no way.
Yeah.
So bear with it as they're being exposed. It's very hard. It's easy for me to say it, but I'm dealing with it myself, as everyone will. But bear with it. As soon as it's exposed, it stops. As soon as we tell it to stop. But the people won't tell it to stop until they see it. So understand it has to be exposed. It's hard, but absolutely has to be exposed. And then we'll say stop. That's it. And we'll get on,
Absolutely. So would you personally, what will be in a tangible way, your way of bringing either this story, or perhaps bringing tones or music? Is that something you would like to do personally in your contribution to Terra?
Absolutely, yeah. I have a guitar here, but I can't even play it. But my contribution will be I'll travel out first and play bad music, and then the musicians can follow me and they'll have a great time.
Sounds inspiring.
Yeah. So I'll introduce them to bad music. Somebody else can bring the good stuff. I think it's the possibilities are limitless. We are limitless, effectively. We really are. But everybody can contribute. It's not just what I bring; it's what everyone else brings. A friend of mine mentioned the other night. She doesn't know about this. She mentioned the other night that she wanted to play bass guitar, and I said, right, I have to see if I can get her a bass now. There's probably a bass coming next week, just to see if she likes it or not. But I'd encourage that if there's something that you like even now, you don't have to be good at something. You can get good at something.
Yeah.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you can do that anywhere. You can travel the stars, bring your talents. You can stay here and bring your talents. Well, I think the planet might need a break from a few of us, and I wouldn't mind getting out and learning. That's what I love. Learn new stuff. Meet new people.
You're very curious by nature. I know. I remember from our interview, you're a person who loves learning, who loves, just learning about new things. So is this contact with our brothers and sister going to be an opportunity for you to better go in depth into your, scientific learning as well, that I know is very important for you? Is that something that you look forward to?
Absolutely. But I've learned something probably over the last 30 years or so. The scientific approach is cool, it's brilliant, but sometimes when you're in the middle of analyzing something, you're missing the ride.
Yeah.
I can drive a car. I also understand how a clutch works, but I don't need to understand how the clutch works to drive a car.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you're missing the drive if you're concentrating on the engineering or something.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of both, and you have to open up to possibilities. Science restricts itself because of what they think they know. There's about 30% of science that's just flawed, and that's what restricts it. So instead of saying that's impossible, say, well, first of all, it has to be possible because I'm looking at it. Second of all, I wonder how it works. And then you start to say, right, well, okay, I'll figure out how it works after I take my test run. Drive it first.
Yeah. Have the experience.
Yeah, experience it and then figure it out. An example would be a child can grow up and study bioengineering and be the best and the top of, let's say it's man, in his game at 35. And he knows exactly how the body works.
Yeah.
Not for 1 second was he restricted from moving that body because he didn't understand how it worked. He was able to grow and walk and crawl and do everything up until he was 35, until he understood it. But it didn't restrict them. So do first and understand later, I think, is more of, it's the way I look at things. Now, but I still take a scientific view where I have to have a small grasp of how it works, but I don't have to fully understand it to experience it. And the more you experience it, the more you will understand it anyway. So don't restrict yourself just because you don't understand it.
So you're talking about the experience, the mindfulness of being present to the moment when you do it, but also perhaps the intuitive aspect of it you think is important also in everything that we discover?
Oh, of course. And a very important one that I've learned, especially stargazing or whatever, if you see something that's weird, and people say, why didn't you film it? I said, there's so many times that when you go looking for your phone or your camera, you'll miss what's going on.
Yeah.
Keep an eye what's going on. If you want to go and get the camera after the 4th or 5th time when you see something, that's the way I look at it. And if people don't believe it, they don't believe you anyway. You can show somebody footage and they'll say you faked it or it's whatever. When they see it themselves, that's the best example. So experience it yourself. Our consciousness is going to be changing. We're going to be speaking from a remote viewing background, and which branches out into other areas as well. Our intuition is going to be a lot higher. We will become telepathic. We're going to know each other's thoughts. So you'll have to be mindful of what you're thinking as well, especially with other species. Alex Collier is a fabulous story about that. He the first time he's seen an Andromedan woman, he undressed her in his mind or whatever, and instantly, not just the commander on the bridge, everybody, including her, gave him a dress down, and he was removed and told not to do it again. But he said that it made him singularly focused on what he was doing.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. Then they're going to be concentrating on what you're doing instead of winking at the women or whatever it might be, I think that's a good thing. So there's going to be a lot of changes,
Absolutely. I mean, it's also about what you're saying, what you talk about is really important, because it also has to do with how we're going to be, rather than just what we're going to do and do and do and do. It's also about being, and being conscious of our thoughts because of telepathy conversation, but also about what we do. This consciousness of what we are and what we do is something we could already start now, again, with going within and doing that. So, I mean, it's just a continuation. What you say is a beautiful continuation of what we can already start here on Terra now. So.
The inner work is so important, and again, we talked about it last time. Excuse me. Reluctant males, they need to do inner work. Everyone needs to do inner work, but there's a lot of males out there that can't do it. They can't meditate, they can't do anything. I just suggest, as I said, if it's a nice day, take your shoes and socks off, take 5 minutes in a back garden, front garden, wherever you can, and just try and relax. I mean, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If fishing works for you, try it. Try something. But females seem to be better at this, and they seem to be better at everything, to be honest.
No,
it's
be kind to yourselves.
But men seem to be the protectors, and they don't want to look at the female aspect. I think everyone should take a balance.
Yeah.
Because we're all one anyway. Everyone should take a balance. And right, if I need to be a bit tougher, I'll take from the male side. If I need to be, more mothering, I'll take from the female side. More compassionate. Also, in general, through the races, the females tend to be a little bit more psychic. They're the seers, and the Oracles of Delphi would be a good example of that. So again, we have to look at both sides, and all of us have the capability of both sides. And all of these traits will come to us. Some people will be better at one, some people will be better at the other. We're all capable of doing it.
Absolutely.
And we'll all work it out together, Nobody's better than anyone. So it's pretty equal anyway,
Yeah. Absolutely. We have a couple of minutes left, and before we end this interview, I wanted to know if you talked at the beginning about we have stories to tell. Well, a lot of us have stories to tell. How do you tangibly see that happening? In very practical ways for us to tell our stories. You mean tell our stories to the brothers and sisters upstairs, or tell our stories here on Terra? And if in both, how would you see that happening? In what ways?
I think everyone's going to be educated down here anyway. Before we even go out, we need to know our past.
Yeah,
that's and from what I know, it's amazing. But I only know partial bits and pieces, and if you're going from one account, there's certain people who won't go into who, but there's certain people who have brilliant accounts, and then there's other accounts that's slightly flawed, and it's like, okay, I'm waiting for the bigger picture, and I know I'm going to be flawed. All of us have to be educated on our own history before we go out anywhere.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be a big one, It really is. I'm looking forward to it. Again, there's a lot of horrible crap that's happened, but we have to hear about it so it doesn't happen again. If you ignore it, it'll happen again.
Absolutely. That's very wise, very important to be conscious of our past, our present, and everything that we do and everything that we have done, not to repeat these mistakes. I agree with you. But, it's going to be rough for a lot of people who are perhaps not done that journey of going within, or even just opening up to what's happening in our reality. It's going to be rough to hear about these stories, but it's important, like you say, that we know what's really happened.
People will catch up. They'll see that you're in a better place. I've often said this: you don't need to sell a good product. It sells itself.
Absolutely.
I'm not looking for any profit from anything. I'll tell my story to anybody. My story is their story. As far as I can tell, my pieces, and everyone has their own piece to this.
Yeah.
I think we can all work together and get through this pretty quickly. Again, the history part is going to be hard to swallow, but we need to look at it. It's who we are. And we have to accept it. And our friends out there that are helping us, we're related to them as well.
Yeah.
We can't forget that. They want to hear the story too. They want to hear our experience. They can only tell us what they've seen. They can't experience. They don't know. So we've a lot to tell. A lot to tell. And there's a lot of them out there that aren't involved in the liberation, but they'll still want to see us and deal with us and trade with us your stories, and you know.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a fascinating exchange we're going to have. And with all that we've been through as humans on Terra, I think that we can be humbly ambassadors of this reality we've been through, and it can be an inspiration for other people on other worlds that have suffered similar kind of jail kind of system, we've been in. So
exactly. And it is a big deal to all of them out there. They want to meet us too. Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's a couple of bodies that are running, just in case we,
yeah,
we'll get over that as well. Revenge is negative field. No point in living in that at all. No. We'll be straight through that. We'll be through 14 into 5th in no time. Mm-hmm. And it's a completely different existence.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Completely different.
We've reached our 15 minutes. It flies as usual. Thank you so much for sharing your experience and your dreams and hopes for Terra in the scientific sphere, but also in the mindfulness sphere. And this whole question of telling a story, I think you bring is very special and very important. You're absolutely right in this. So we all need to be prepared to tell our stories many times over here, but also upstairs eventually about what we've gone through. Thank you so much for your participation. It's really appreciated. Sorry, I need to cough. Thank you for bringing your 2 cents into this, and it's always a pleasure to have everybody's feedbacks on what they wish and dream for our beautiful present and future on Terra. Take immense care of yourself.
Thank you very much for having me.
It's a pleasure. Take great care of yourself. Thank you again. Bye.
Bye.
Hello, beautiful soul. Are you on a spiritual journey and sometimes you struggle to find your direction, or you feel you need some support, especially in those times of transition? I know you have all the resources and the answers within yourself, since you are a fractal of Source, as I am. But in times of need, I'm happy to offer some support, high frequencies, and intuitive pointers to simply guide you in finding back the connection to the wisdom of your higher self. I'm an intuitive transmitter and creative, and I wish to be at the service of others. So I propose 2 modalities to offer you support. That is intuitive transmission sessions called IT and creative intuitive transmission sessions called CIT. Both offer intuitive guidance and high frequencies, and at least a private Zoom exchange where we can discuss the guidance received for you and offer support in regard to a maximum of 5 questions you might have. For more information about these intuitive sessions or to book a session with me, I invite you to visit my website at abigaëllerichard.com/intuitive sessions, and I look forward to meet you. Bye.